Hello and welcome back to another 10-minute investor eye test with Arcanum Ventures. I'm Mello and this is my good friend and co-founder Sasha. And today we're going to be checking out Iceberg, an integrated decentralized Web3 workspace designed to simplify workflows, enhance collaboration, and boost productivity, all within Telegram, I think. I think it's integrated with that and it's sort of a CRM. And that's pretty much all I know about it. Sasha, I know you did a video yesterday on 3 token launches this week. Do you know anything about Iceberg beyond what I just said?
You know more than me. I had no idea this is a CRM built into Telegram. That's actually really cool. I think a lot of people in Web3, I think just Web3, a lot of people in Web3 use Telegram for many different purposes. And so having a sort of like project management tool or a CRM in Telegram would be super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's another one that I've tried before, full transparency, called 3RM. And it was an interesting tool. I don't know how useful it is to continue using it. And, they're constantly making changes. But I remember somebody from Iceberg reached out to us a while back asking us to check it out. But I never got a chance to. But I'm definitely intrigued by this sort of thing because Telegram, you and I know, can be an absolute mess. So anything that can help me organize that. But it seems like these guys focus a little bit too much on like AI debriefs and trying to summarize chats, which I don't really need help with. I just need help with finding the right information, tracking conversations, which I believe they're able to do. But you and I discussed this offline. It's a little bit of a hard sell to get people in Web3 to be process driven and actually use CRMs. I don't know how many actually use CRMs like Monday or Trello or any of these other tools, Asana. So it's an interesting one, and that's why I'm excited to cover it and figure out more than anything what the Iceberg token is going to do. I don't know if that's what it's called, but yeah, for those unfamiliar, we're going to take 10 short minutes to dive into Iceberg, general idea of what they're doing, what the token's doing, look at it from an investment standpoint, and see if it makes sense, and then give our verdicts at the end. So stay tuned, and yeah, I think without further ado, we can just hop right in and see what Iceberg's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got 10 minutes on the clock for Iceberg starting right. Meow, boom. And I've got crypto rank up here with the Iceberg page. They've got an IDO starting in a couple of days, I guess. And like you said, there's a bunch of buzzwords, but it's an integrated, decentralized Web3 workspace designed to simplify workflows, enhance collaboration, and boost productivity. All sounds good on paper, but I suppose we'll see. And they've got an IDO on DAO Maker. I think currently live, actually. So they're raising $500,000.
Yeah,
Wonder
I
what
think they
else
have
they've
like
raised.
several other platforms like Finceptor, Communitas.
Ah, yeah.
Uh, so they've done quite a bit. Binstarter, Bullperks, Fount, I've never heard of, but they're doing
Never
it
heard of
too.
Fount.
So, and
Starter, Communitas, Spores, IDOs across the board. And look at this token price. This is meme coin territory. Not a great look.
yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter so much, but it doesn't leave you a whole lot of room to go down, but it leaves you a whole lot of room to go up. And it's more psychological than anything for those unfamiliar. And I think that's why you always recommend not putting such a low price because it does look like a meme coin.
Yeah, absolutely. But the FDV for the token supply is quite low. We're looking at $6 million. And it
Oh,
really starts to beg some questions like I'm not even sure what this token could be used for. A CRM with a token? I have no idea.
I mean, I'm going to go ahead and take a wild guess. It's not that wild and say that governance plays a part in this, but yeah, it's true. I don't know. I mean, if you compare it to other business models for CRMs, it's basically like a subscription. You pay monthly and you pay per seat for everybody in your company, and that's what we do with our CRM. So I don't know how they integrate the token, but I'm excited to find out. And yeah, that is a reasonable FDV for launch compared to what we've been seeing. So I wonder how much they're raising in total. Says they've raised 1.72 million so far.
Yeah, and
Or
that's pretty interesting. Or at least this is across all the different IDOs, so we don't know if they've had earlier
yeah,
rounds. But let's go ahead and dive into the website. And so we've got Web3 platform designed to enhance work processes. Plain and simple. That's cool.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, like this kind of is starting to look a little bit like a calendar, or maybe like a project management dashboard. Um,
yeah. And I love that above the
Interesting.
fold, it's very easy. It's like log in right away, try it out on beta, Telegram. They want to get users, which is a really nice approach. I don't see much about the token, which is actually a good thing. they're focused on the app and how useful it is. So I guess that comes first and foremost and more important than the token. But we do want to know in this video, for the purpose of this investment video, we want to see what the token does.
Yeah, and it says right here, confirmed, all natively within Telegram. So that's definitely useful. There are a lot of people that use Telegram for business. It's much better than things like WhatsApp, which a lot of people use. Uh, Slack, of course, like using Slack or something else is going to be maybe a little bit more enterprise focused or official. But
Yeah.
here we've got some info on the token. Hmm.
And I do see the bridge token above, the ton token above for the bridge, and maybe BSC as well. So maybe they were able to get some funding or grants from Ton or Telegram, because it is a nice strategy for them. Instead of taking people away from the platform, away from Telegram to an outside external CRM, keeping everything in there. It's useful for them, and it's useful for people that don't want to manage 7 different apps just to talk to their colleagues.
Yeah, it's a good point. We've got this section on the site right now. We're looking at Web3 interaction. And the first one up here, number one, which is currently available, I guess, is the actual token itself. Tokenized economy, participate, contribute, and earn rewards. I wonder how you'd contribute on a CRM. That's a good
Yeah.
way to get people to use, a project management tool to just pay them.
Maybe
Oh my
we'll
God.
start using ours even better if we start paying ourselves to use it.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It's like you put the coin in the swear jar. It's a perfect use case. Number two, governance. Uh, yeah, I don't know if maybe you want your users to be governing certain aspects on your CRM or your project management application. Like you want to build something that your users are going to like, right?
Hmm.
So sourcing that feedback's interesting.
I think it's important to note too that whenever we see governance, like we don't talk about it enough, but whenever we see governance, that leads to a whole host of questions we would ask the team if we were to talk to them right now. And the first being, how is this structured? Like, do you have a company? Do you have company equity? How does the value accrue? What are these governance decisions actually going to be about? Like, how much power do people have? Does it even matter? Is Iceberg like a centralized company that's going to make the lion's share of these decisions anyways, without much thought as to what the community is asking for or voting on? So this is always a big thing. Governance should not be taken ever at face value.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you consider like we don't have a whole lot of information on token utility here. This is
Yeah.
the end of the website, and I don't see any links for, let's say, white paper or documentation. But the main utility that they're advertising is governance. And then they've got some buzzwords here: participate, contribute, and earn rewards. But there's no other information. There might be a total of 100 words on this website, which is a problem because these guys are raising funds against this token, and they're doing it across like 7 different IDO platforms. So it doesn't seem like there's any easily accessible information on what the token actually does.
Yeah. Um,
This link is broken; it's not leading anywhere. So
oh no.
all these links are broken, man. How do these guys have 1 million followers on social media?
Also, you can't take that at face value. We never know how people build their communities or companies for that matter.
Yeah, I'm not going to join. I'm not going to start the iceberg bot. But yeah, that's it, man. I guess maybe we should go to like the socials and see what people are saying about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, man, it would be nice to have videos like trying out some of these apps, because like we don't really get to do that in 10 minutes, but could be useful to try something like this because it could be a nice thing to test out and see if it makes sense for us as a company that interacts with Web3. But yeah, it seems like they have a pretty decent following, pretty good engagement as well.
Yeah, the engagement looks good. They've got a lot of native content here on Twitter is just one example. They've got cross promotion from some of their partners. But again, oh, here we go. This is, I guess, a video that kind of shows what the platform might look like, which is exactly what we want to see. If you're advertising some sort of like consumer focused software platform, you probably want to show it and like how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it kind of what I expected, but that's a good thing. I'm wondering if this would actually improve my workflow or if it would just be another tool getting in the way of my workflow, because sometimes that
Mhm.
happens too.
Yeah, they've got some launch pades happening.
What is that?
uh, I don't know. This is a very strange one. I figured there'd be way more information, and apparently their blog link is broken. So you figure, like, normally tokenomics stuff would be, let's say, housed in the website, or it would be on some sort of Medium blog, which is not the best place for it. But yeah, no
You
token use
see,
case, not a lot of information or visuals on the product itself.
right there it says, "We strongly advise all participants." I think something about a now go up. I think it says something about like a revenue share or redistribution of something.
Where am I looking?
Oh, maybe it's down past launch pages. Uh, nope, down
If
more.
there's a revenue share, then that's going to be very interesting.
Oh man, I think we lost it.
You lost it. You lost it. It's
Oh,
you
right
made
there,
it
right
up. It's
there.
not real.
Something right there about the last 2 weeks to claim your iceberg. So maybe they're doing an airdrop.
Yeah, yeah, they're definitely doing an airdrop. They've got several pieces of content. So yeah, again, like looking at what this is, I don't think there are any other links on this page. There's just the bot, and then there's whatever that is. But I would like to see more product, really. And the funny thing is, you talked about it before. Like, this is interesting product market fit because we don't know many teams in the Web3 space that are experienced or organized enough to even use a CRM or a project management tool.
Yeah.
And, like, they could definitely benefit from it. So I don't know if that's bad for Iceberg because they're marketing this application to a bunch of idiots, or if it's good because there's a dire need for something like this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it could be useful in teaching people operations. Like you and I scream at the top of our lungs at our portfolio companies sometimes, and anybody we work with about processes and operations, and it's totally boring. But it's if you can infuse this into the DNA of your company on how to act more efficiently and be more organized, then it's definitely useful. And Web3 does have a lot of people that never really worked in an office environment or for a professional company before starting a company or working with somebody in Web3. So it is kind of a tough sell to teach them how to use a CRM. So maybe this is useful. Maybe it's going to fall on deaf ears. We don't know.
That's our 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, based on their social media following, like, there might be a lot of organic growth there. There might be a lot of people that are actually excited for this, or those numbers might be coming from the fact that for the past several weeks they've been marketing an airdrop campaign.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got to take that into account. I mean, personally, I think it would be cool to invest in something like this,
Yeah.
for a number of reasons. But before we get into those reasons, I want to remind everyone, if you're liking this content, if you like our just rants when we run into a brick wall when it comes to context or information on another company, make sure you tap that like button, throw us a subscribe, leave us a comment below if there's a cool project that you want us to dive into. And yeah, if you're okay with it, I'll go ahead and dive into my verdict and you can wrap
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
up.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so we have no idea what the token does. Let's be clear here. Based on, like, what we've seen, what this company is choosing to communicate to people on their website, on their social media, it might be hard to think that anyone that might be interested in buying this asset has no idea what the token does. That's a big problem.
Hmm.
But is it a thumbs down because of that? No. Let me tell you why. Because we've used many CRMs before, and I will tell you guys that CRM SaaS models, from what we've seen, maybe aren't doing so well because these companies happen to try and jack up their prices consistently every year. They constantly shift basic services to premium subscriptions, so you're constantly losing premium features in your subscription, and then they send you email updates like, hey, if you're interested in using this feature anymore, you have to buy this new random subscription that's twice the price. So if we have some sort of, like, a la carte crypto competitor that comes into the fold where you can spend tokens for specific features that you want and you need, instead of having to upgrade into a, let's say, a subscription tier that's twice the amount that you're currently paying for 6 out of 8 features that you don't even need or want, that could be very powerful. They can compete. Is it likely that they're able to compete with companies like Asana or Monday or whoever that have a lot of revenue, massive teams, and a lot of resources to develop and continue developing a great product? I don't know. We haven't seen the product here. We're not really sure what it looks like besides a screenshot of a calendar. So I'm disappointed with what these guys are doing as far as marketing. They just keep spamming the word airdrop across their socials, and I want to see the product. Show me the product. So with that, I'm going to give it 1 thumb sideways. I want to see more, and I want to learn more about the token because I'm hopeful, but I'm cautiously hopeful.
Yeah, I think that's how I would put it too. And before I give my verdict, I just want to remind everybody to like and subscribe, but not just that. Give us a like or a comment if you would like to see us maybe in the future do some actual product demos to test out some new apps that are launching, because that might be useful if we're actually using the product or showing what it looks like rather than talking about it as well. But yeah, I agree with your thumb sideways. I'll start with the thumb sideways too. I love the idea. It is tricky to implement. I don't know how they're going to pull that off. And like you said, how are we going to convince Web3 people to stay organized and be more process driven and use this? I think Telegram is a nice middle ground because it's, like I said, it's not pulling them away. I refuse to use Slack half the time. When we work with a team, they're like, join our Slack, and nobody actually uses it, even their team. So it would be nice if we could maybe organize Telegram and make Telegram a little bit more professional, because that's more reasonable than pulling everybody away and using a whole suite of other apps. So I like that. But my biggest questions are, what does the token do? Specifically with governance, like what are we actually governing if we're going to hold it? Why should I hold on to my tokens and be a governor, so to speak, or a delegate? More importantly, what are we being rewarded for? Because if this is like a perpetual airdrop campaign, if you bring on your friends, we're just going to use this token as a mechanism to reward you for having like a referral link. But and maybe you can sync that back in by allowing people to pay for their subscription with that. That makes some sense, but we always have the infamous stablecoin test, where if you can replace your token with a stablecoin, is it that necessary to use? So it's sort of a tough sell on the token side, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's more to it that we're not seeing because the website wasn't fully functional. So I like the idea. I'm wishing them the best of luck, but I would have to know more about the token specifically. I definitely want to see what it looks like. I might actually be more interested as a product user than an investor / token holder. But you and I know that sometimes we look and speak with a team or we use the product, and then that converts us to wanting to invest because we're like, wow, this could be useful, or this fills a need in the space. So I would give it a thumb sideways like you, and I think we're aligned on our approach to Iceberg.
Yeah.
Which is launching this week, apparently, in the next few days.
Yeah. Well, that's 10 minutes in the books for Iceberg. Best of luck to the team. And send us product demos. We want to see that. Until then, stay safe out there, y'all. Make sure you check in next week because we got some more fun content coming. Ciao, y'all.
Ciao.